DIY or Die, Walker Vapor Group LLC, or any of its associates do not condone nor encourage the use of nicotine, vapor products, or any mood-altering substances without the explicit consent of a physician. The content viewable on this channel is strictly for entertainment purposes only and not meant to be seen as informational or educational. Must be 21 years or older to view these materials.
Silky beat. Hello, mixers. Welcome back to another glorious episode of the MIXINVIXENS. Say hello to our Vixens. I'm Emily, also known as mlNikon. We've got RinVapes.
Hi.
And we've got JJ, also known as Jennifer Jarvis, the Flavor Pro.
Hello.
Jennifer Winstead can't be with us this time, but we still, we're going to be looking at her recipe. Today we're bringing the boys back on to review all of our mixes. Say hello, boys. We've got Chindo.
Hey, what's up?
We've got Concrete River.
Yo.
And we've got the Faceless Graham Digital Drops.
How you doing? How you doing?
Hey, welcome back, guys.
Hey, thanks for having us back. I'm kind of surprised you guys haven't just kicked us off here yet, honestly. We bring very little to the table. You could do much better.
Hey, we enjoy you, whether you like it, you know it or not. We like having you on and helping us out just to review these.
He has to do his weekly self-deprecation statement.
Oh, right, yeah.
Weekly?
Yeah,
Weekly?
more like hourly.
No, it's like every 15 minutes or else I actually start to believe my own hype and then everything just goes to shit.
So you turn to like Shindo, right?
Yeah. It's a guest panel with a cautionary tale. So there we go. Buy some mango sticky rice.
He's down to insult Rick.
It's like,
No, but yeah, this is an interesting batch of juices. So we did our thing. We like put our tiny shriveled brains together and vaped through them all. So excited to start going on there.
It was tough.
we're almost like a complete human.
Almost, except for the part that makes anybody worthwhile and spending time with. We don't have that. Okay, well, I guess since Jarvis isn't here, I guess we'll pick on her first.
She's right there. She is here, dude. You don't see her with the purple hair right there?
Oh no, sorry, not Jarvis. Winstead. I apologize. I mixed up my Jennifers again. Really, it's your guys' fault for having the same first name. That's the problem here.
You can call me something else if you'd like.
You called her by her last name, though.
Yeah. I mean,
there's no intellectual consistency to anything any of us say. So, but yeah, if you guys are cool starting out, so Jarvis's recipe. Yeah. Winstead's recipe was autumn pipe tobacco, and since she isn't here to talk about it, I'll just go ahead and like read the notes here. She left some pretty good notes on the actual recipe. This is a craft beer of pipe tobacco. The essence of this picture inspired me to work with earth notes, and the different colors on the leaves inspired me to use FA7 leaves, which on the nose, but I like it. And I was also inspired to use FA Glory because of its strong nutty tobacco notes and native tobacco from Florida to intensify the tobacco note. To me, the fall represents a lot of fragrances and aromas that are rich and deep and earthy. In the fall, we also have the harvest of pumpkins, gourds, and yams, taro, and other roots. In a sense, I wanted to present you a very nice aromatic fall fragrance tobacco. So after vaping this, if that's what she was like setting out to do, I think she did a really good job of it. Like, this has a very consistent, like, sort of earthy, dry tobacco profile. And I think that's one of the things that she actually likes to do quite a bit. And I think like the level of commitment to that kind of profile shows. I feel like it's a little uncompromising for a drier tobacco, and that's either going to be a really good thing or a really bad thing, depending on how you feel about like earthier dry tobaccos. But in terms of the implementation, I think she did a really, really excellent job. You can vape this and you definitely get dry, you get fall, you get tobacco. It's a tobacco for people that actually like tobacco.
Yeah, specifically dry tobacco, which personally I think this is really cool because it's super unapologetic. It's like very straightforward. There's pumpkin notes, but mostly I get a lot of rye actually out of the pumpkin bread and dryness, which I think tobaccos desperately need. The only issue I think really for me was people who don't necessarily like tobaccos are gonna freaking hate it because it's straight up tobacco. Like that's the hill it's dying on.
Yeah, I don't mind tobacco. It's not my favorite, and it just wasn't for me, that one. You know, because I like what you just said. I think you really have to like tobacco.
Yeah, and I think more than anything else, like it kind of shows exactly how much work she's done in this kind of profile, because like this is her kind of profile. Like if I had to like identify her as a mixer with one specific thing, it'd be these kinds of like actual freaking tobaccos. And I like the fact that the Glory is nutty, which kind of works with the vague potato notes of the taro. Let's not mince words here. There's some extra toasted almond to kind of dry it out a little bit more. That all works really well. I'm not super familiar with Seven Leaves by itself, but it seems to be working here to kind of like further flesh out that tobacco note. And that native tobacco also has some nuttiness to it. So you have this very like nutty, earthy tobacco base. And like Shindo was saying, that pumpkin bread definitely lends something here. And I think it's going to be a little bit controversial depending on how you feel about those kind of rye notes, but it's not overbearing and it's balanced really well in the recipe.
Yeah, looking at it objectively, it's really cool because like I can't think of any other use for pumpkin bread. I always saw that as kind of a garbage flavor. But it works here and it works really well.
Yeah, like that old joke about if something's too savory and has some weird off notes, you just throw it at tobacco. But yeah, this is actually like putting that into practice. Like it's using those kind of like funkier, dirtier rye notes with the tobacco. It all comes off very cohesively. I guess the big like question mark part of the recipe for me is the 1% FA New York cheesecake. Just because if that's doing its business, it's doing it well, because I don't notice it at all. It just looking at the recipe and not having her here, I guess, to go into it more, like it feels a little out of place, but then again, the end result is pretty solid for that profile.
Yeah, I think that was her bridge from the bakery notes of the bread into the creamy notes and like a blender into the tobaccos. Because there is a little bit of a crusty note to it, but it's very, very slight. And rather than using a stout to like vanilla, she went New York cheesecake, which has a hint of vanilla and a little bit of cream with a bit of tang to it. And that little bit of tangness adds to tobacco.
Yeah, I could also see it kind of smoothing it out. It could have been a little more sharp without it.
Yeah, I mean, for like a flavor in the, like looking at this recipe bill, it makes no, like it doesn't, one of these things is not like the other, but the fact that you can't pick it out in the recipe means that she probably picked the right flavor for it.
Yeah, it's definitely cohesive. Everything works well together. It's just the direction it's heading might not be the direction that I want to drive in.
Do any of you like tobaccos?
I do like tobaccos, just not particularly the more earthy kind of like potato-y side. Extra points for getting me to buy taro, because I never would have ever bought that.
Seriously, I resent having to buy taro.
So this is a tobacco lover's tobacco.
Yeah, tobacco. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, and like seeing in that lens and seeing like the profile she was going for, I think it really does demonstrate like she cares about these kind of profiles, and that's really awesome to see, even if they aren't necessarily your cup of tea. I mean, it's good to have a nice dry, full, a nice dry but still full and nuanced tobacco flavor that isn't just like vaping a whole bunch of tobacco absolute. Like this is really well fleshed out. It does what it needs to do. It fits what she was going for really well. So I was really impressed with this, and I do like some of the drier tobacco recipes, and I think maybe that pushed me a little further in the direction. But I think we all kind of came to the conclusion, like, this is really well done. If this is what you want to vape, this is a really good implementation of it.
Yeah, I might not like country music, but I can still spot a good country music song.
You get a lot of the taro in it.
I definitely get something like, again, I was intending never to ever buy taro, but there is something like kind of earthier and just a slight hint of hash brown in it, but it kind of works with everything else going on.
Starchy.
Yeah,
It's a starchy root flavor. Yeah.
Yummy.
Yeah, like when you put potatoes in soup and thicken them up.
And Seven Leaves, I think Seven Leaves added that hay note that she likes. Because she always likes to put a little bit of hayness to her tobaccos. So I get hay from Seven Leaves, but there's also like a leafy note to it as well. But it does have that kind of wet hay thing going on.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's cool then, because like that isn't like, that's something that like I'll occasionally pick up on other tobaccos, but whatever's going on here, like it just feels like you've got like the lower end from the Glory and the native tobacco, and then you've got the higher, like brighter notes from the Seven Leaves. And it just feels like a really, really cohesive tobacco profile.
Yeah. There's definitely two sides to it. Like you have the side of just tobacco aromas, and then you have the side of tasting tobacco in your mouth, which is more of like the Flavor West 555, like hay side. And that's kind of more what this recipe lends itself to.
Yeah, but I think overall we were pretty impressed with this, even if Shindo doesn't like dry tobaccos.
Or country music.
Yeah, or country music. Georgia Jones forever. That old grimy stuff. Let's do this.
I mean, wet hay is part of fall, though, like hay rides and stuff.
I mean, you're constantly smelling something in various states of decay in fall. Like, that's part of that entrancing fall smell is stuff dying. So, yeah.
I'll make this recipe sound so lovely. Hash browns and death. Wet hay.
That's a name I can get behind.
Yeah, but like the thing is, it's hash browns and death, but I think that's what she was going for in like a very pleasant dry tobacco kind of way. Like tobacco by itself, like the actual aroma, like it isn't made of all like freaking strawberries and sweetness and stuff. Like there's a lot of nuance there, and I think this recipe works pretty well to capture some of that nuance.
Yeah, like objectively, it's an extremely good recipe. It's well done, well thought out. There's a lot of passion behind it.
Hash Browns and Death is Rin's new metal band. What's your current metal band?
I've already got it trademarked.
I can just see you up there with like the Cookie Monster style vocals singing about fall. It's going to be great.
Cookie for you.
Yeah.
No.
There's my death metal impression for the day. Okay, so Kyle, you want to talk about Jarvis's recipe? Or actually, we should have Jarvis talk about Jarvis's recipe.
Yeah, because she's here.
Yes.
I don't remember what recipe did I do.
You did the apple bong.
It's probably your second best too, so you know.
I don't know. This month's recipes were all okay. I mean, like I didn't have any that were spectacular to me, so I just kind of picked
Drew
one
out of a hat.
that was different.
Yeah, you went with fall leaves.
I went with the fall leaves one too. Oh yeah. Are we putting it up? No. I didn't have it open either. Because I'm on the ball today. I came in here like 2 minutes left.
Just coming through the door like Kramer. Yeah.
Oh, this was I went the same route as Winstead. I went for a tobacco for this one, but I added apple and a little bit, just like 1 drop of bakery spice from VTA, just to give it a spice note. Bavarian cream to add a little bit of a creamy note, kind of to smooth it out, and a little bit of a caramel note to it. The Blackfire, I did go a little bit higher with it, but that's because it had to compete with Tatanka. And I know after a week it fades out. And Fuji, also blending with the apple pop and the caramel notes. And Honeycomb. Honeycomb's kind of got that crispy, I don't know, cookie-ish note with it. So it kind of gives you a nice base layer and as well as a little bit of top brightness to it. I didn't go like super extreme with trying to get all fancy with it. Just kind of straightforward.
You didn't add any taro.
No.
Yeah, so I really like the honeycomb, but at the same time, the apple note is really good and the tobacco note is good, but together they're like kind of don't work together in this recipe, for me at least. The Tatanka is far too funky and more of like a chewing tobacco, and that doesn't really mesh that well with the apple that you used, in my opinion at least. The Blackfire and the little bit of clove I get actually from the bakery spice, the clove kind of gets hidden a little bit from the Blackfire, and I like that. It's very subtle, which is nice, but at the same time, it doesn't work with the apple that you used. At least, yeah, in my opinion. What do you think, Rick?
I think it's interesting because like I was vaping this and I was trying to like figure out what it reminded me of, because it has like a very like fresh, bright apple note and sort of a dirtier tobacco note. And I'm not sure the Bavarian cream or whatever it's supposed to be like, or the honeycomb is like really pulling it together all the way. So it feels a little bit like two different recipes at the same time. And like the overall effect, I'm assuming people here have smoked certain illicit substances through an apple. Like you have like a little bit of dirt and you have a little bit of sweet, and it didn't quite like mix in the middle for me.
Yeah, and it's weird because the dark part of the apple pop actually like mixes more with the tobacco side of the recipe than it does with the apple side. Strangely enough.
Well, it was supposed to, because it has caramel notes, so that's what I was aiming for, bringing the caramel notes. The mapley notes that I get from Tatanka were supposed to blend into that. VTA's bakery spice was just kind of a crapshoot. It was like, I don't know how this is going to turn out. I've hardly used this flavor, but it has the notes that I like to be in there.
That flavor's all over the place, though, too.
Yeah, that flavor is a clove bomb.
Yeah, that's why I use so little of it.
Yeah.
That flavor, like I like everything in there but the clove. And it's not that it's a bad clove, it's just a lot of clove, but using it that low, like Shinda was saying with the Blackfire and stuff, like I didn't necessarily pick up like, oh shit, that's a clove vape. Like I think it worked pretty well, but yeah, it's a weird flavor.
Yeah. I think the Tatanka is just a little too far from the apple for me. Like another tobacco would have worked better for me.
Yeah, I think it might just be the brightness of the FA Fuji, like actually looking at the recipe and drilling down it. Like it was just a little bright, it was a little juicy.
I almost used apple filling, but then I was like, I think I've done that in a recipe already once. That I've submitted to them already, so I didn't want to do it again.
Yeah, even with apple filling, I still feel like the tobacco is just the wrong choice.
Does Tatanka like a wetter?
Mm-hmm. It's more of like a kind of like almost musky chewing tobacco. Yeah.
Well, I was going pipe tobacco, apple, spiced pipe tobacco. I wasn't really crazy about this one in the end anyway, but after it steeped out, it was like, it's all right. But I wasn't that crazy about any of the other recipes either. So,
I mean, the
I
one
actually like the apple in this.
I like it too. Just separated from the Tatanka. I think your last submission is probably the best thing that I vaped on the show so far. So,
yeah, and I didn't dislike vaping this recipe, like, because I thought it was a really interesting contrast. It was something that you don't necessarily see as like bright fruit flavors next to dirty tobacco flavors, but there is that kind of like problem of like how like fitting the pieces together more than any specific piece of this being bad. It's just, it doesn't quite like intermesh.
Well, I'm also Blackfire blind.
Okay.
So to me, that I'd hardly get any of that from it. And the Tatanka, like, I don't know, I can't even vape very much of this recipe because it's making me wheezy. I don't know what it is about flavorous tobaccos now that are affecting me. Maybe it's just this time of year, but can't win every time.
Oh,
Can't win them all. Yeah.
Jeez, that's knowingly. I do like the Blackfire here, though. Like, I feel like maybe it's a little bit on the high end, but I do think that Blackfire is maybe just a little bit slept on because it's a nice way to add some like realism and like smokiness to a tobacco without making it grassy, like a dirty neutral base or something would. Like, when I want realism in tobacco, I don't necessarily want like ashtray. I want like smoke, and I feel like Blackfire does a better job of selling tobacco, for me at least personally, than like just one of the dirty bases.
Yeah, I kind of agree that it's just a better version of DNB in a lot of ways, or at least a much easier version to use.
Yeah, and Rin's over here in the chat, ashtray versus char from a grill. But yeah, I mean, I'd rather take char than ashtray, basically, when it comes
It's like payback for like my first comment. You're just like putting me on blast on my little side chat.
Dude, like, I see the side chat. I gotta call it out because that's.
But you only see mine. There's like other stuff going on.
What is MIXINVIXENS without some good-natured antagonism?
yeah, and you haven't even gone yet, so be careful.
Anyway.
Yeah. Hey, Graham, you wanna actually, Rin, you want to talk about your recipe?
Sure. So
That was nice of you, Rick.
I'm learning slowly, okay?
So Blue Moon, it's not the beer, just to make that very clear. Because like there's like an ale or something that's called Blue Moon. I don't really know because I don't typically drink that kind of stuff. But it's an ice cream that's kind of native to my area. I don't think it's available across like the US. It seems to be like Ohio, Michigan, like this general area. It's hard to describe what it tastes like if you haven't tasted it firsthand, because a lot of different people have different opinions on what it is, and it might vary depending on where you get it from. Not entirely sure, but I really wanted to make something with like a Blue Moon base because that picture had what looked like a Blue Moon ice cream in it, along with other things. And I didn't want to go the cotton candy route because I don't know, I just felt like it would be too cloying. So yeah, I started with the Blue Moon base, which I looked up online, like how you make it. And this one just sounded the more interesting versions that I've tried. And it's like whipped cream, vanilla, raspberry, lemon, and something else that I can't find now. So that's kind of like the basis of it. Plus lemon makes the raspberry pop anyway. So I felt like that little hint of the lemon Sicily would be nice in there. And I used that one in particular because I find that more smooth than like other lemons, because I didn't want it to be like lemon, like in your face. I just wanted it to enhance the raspberry that I added, which I'll get to in a minute. I did find something interesting. I like the Flavora cream and the Flavora milk together. I think they make a nice ice cream base. Because I have issues with ice cream. Like the only one that I really like is like the Loran's ice cream, or not Loran's, Liquid Barn, because I get the pepper from the TFA, unfortunately. So I found that while making this recipe. I added marzipan for like a sweetness and a little, almond was the other flavor, I think. So marzipan has like that hint of almond. Some people get cherry from it. I don't really. But even with the cherry in it, I think it just enhances the berry note in it because it is pretty low. And then I added the Inawera blackberry raspberry because I wanted a little bit of something other outside of like the Blue Moon to add like a berry note to it. And I think the blackberry raspberry is nice because it already has the raspberry I need for the Blue Moon. And then it adds like a little blackberry into it, which played off of like the purple that was in the picture. So plus, it's just a really, really good flavor if you haven't tried it. That's it.
Yeah. Shout out Inawera Blackberry Raspberry. It is a very good flavor.
Apparently, somebody besides DIY Vapor Supply needs to start carrying it because they literally don't even have it at Vapors Tech, which is kind of renowned for carrying all of Inaware stuff.
Yeah.
So thank you for sending that.
You're welcome.
Graham, you want to take lead on this one?
Yeah, I really like this one. I do like the way the milk and the cream did go together. Definitely noticed that. We talked about that. Made it kind of fluffy. Is that what you get?
Yeah, that Flavora milk, like I don't think I ever actually tried that before, like maybe about a month ago, and I grabbed it like in desperation on a recipe I was working with. And like I was seriously surprised by the amount of mouthfeel that actually adds. Like it doesn't have a really overbearing like sour milk flavor, but it does have this like very strange kind of almost fluffy texture that actually was really interesting in here.
Yeah, I got a lot of mouthfeel from it, but I was a little bit lacking in the dairy note. There wasn't too much dairy note. It was mostly mouthfeel. But what I really liked was the top note was almost like candied in a way that you would get by flavoring ice cream with concentrates, which was really cool. The blackberry raspberry almost has like a little hint of blueberry in there too, which makes it taste more blue, coincidentally. The lemon Sicily, I actually got a little bit of the lemon in there too. Even at 0.25%, it was pretty well blended. Altogether, it was a really nice cohesive recipe. I think I just need to up the flavoring percentages for my own personal taste, and it would be like a banger.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of kind of a sherbet base, just because it didn't have that really like heavy, like rich creaminess to it. Like it was a little bit lighter on the dairy, but there was still a good amount of texture. And that Flavora cream and that Flavora milk together really does seem like the good jumping off point for like a sherbet. And like I've never had Blue Moon ice cream, but like looking online and stuff, it seems like this is basically the flavor profile. Like it seems like kind of like a richer sherbet kind of thing. So I think that kind of works out pretty well.
Like a sherbet, like marshmallow almost.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, it's a really interesting implementation, and it like Kyle said, like part of me just wants to like take the recipe and like throw some different like berry,
just double it.
Well, not even double it, but like double the actual fruit components. And where this is like really smooth and like very texturally nice, like it just feels like I want a little bit more on the bright side here.
Yeah, like the base of it's like perfect. But yeah, it could be a little bit more, but you know
that top note balance is pretty incredible. The blackberry, raspberry, and the lemon are like perfectly balanced together.
Yeah, and I don't notice anything from the marzipan, which probably means that it's used about right. It does seem to just
that means it's used correctly.
Yeah, it just folds into the recipe. It gives it a little bit more texture, and if there is any like almond or cherry notes or whatever, like they're being picked up by the blackberry, raspberry. Like it's all pretty much in both the lemon and the marzipan for me just are kind of in service of that blackberry, raspberry.
Yeah. What was really nice is there's no sweetener in the recipe, but it is sweet. It's like the perfect level of sweetness.
Thank you.
But yeah, I want a little more dairy and a little bit more of that top note that's in it, just fleshed out a bit, because the blackberry raspberry is fairly, with the lemon, is a little bit thin, but has a really good flavor to it. It's hard to describe.
One of my favorite things about a Blue Moon recipe is it gives me an excuse to go down the rabbit hole of local ice cream variations. So that's always appreciated. Because like I've never had Blue Moon, but like you go to like the Wikipedia page and all of a sudden you're looking at like Superman ice cream, which apparently has like some of the same kind of characteristics to it. And then you learn that some degenerates out there like Tiger Tail, which is apparently orange and licorice at the same time.
Yeah, Superman is pretty good.
What kind of animal would do that? Wow.
Is Superman similar to Blue Moon?
Yeah, I think it has it in there. It's like one of the folded in elements of it. It's like a very bright colored ice cream. It's like yellow and blue and I don't remember what else, but yeah, they're bordering sherbet type stuff.
Yeah, right now I really want to go out and buy a box of Blue Moon ice cream. So
Yeah,
thanks to
me too.
contributing to my future diabetes.
You're gonna lose a foot.
Getting a touch of the beatus.
Touch for diabetes testing supplies.
See, and I don't even want to make that joke because I already kind of look like a semi-young Wilford Brimley. So
yeah. Future supplies.
Cocoon, the early years.
You
That's a
do.
great movie. She said you do. Emily agreed.
I just need to find me my Steve Gutenberg to go ahead and support my Cocoon habit. But yeah, overall, yeah, this was really solid.
Thank you. Now you got to
Shall-
get that blackberry raspberry.
I know, right? Somebody else needs to carry that. There's some very, very cheap part of me that's horrified by the shipping at DIY Vapor Supply.
Yeah,
It's not that
pretty
bad.
good.
Is
It's
it bad?
like $7-8. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Oh,
I was
really?
gonna send it to both of them, and then I looked at the price, and it was like $20-something for both. I'm like, nah, I love you guys, but
I don't love you that much. Graham's been hollering at me for a good minute to get that get that concentrate. So
That's ridiculously good.
No, seriously, Graham's like, yeah, you got to buy that Inaware blackberry raspberry, and then I'm fucking looking for it, and the only place that has it is DIY Vapor Supply.
I wonder, does Vapors Tech have it? Because I know they've got some Inaware stuff that other vendors don't. No.
No, like that's
One
what
place.
that's what I was surprised by, because I seriously had to order some new nicotine, so I just ordered from Vapors Tech for the nicotine, and yeah, they don't have it, which is bizarre.
Yeah, someone should pick it up.
What about Chefs? Does it have it at Chefs?
Nope.
Yeah.
It's literally a mystery, because from what I've tasted here, it's a very, very good flavor.
Well, that's like the TFA nectarine. You couldn't find that anywhere for a long time too. But now I guess you can get it other places.
yeah, it's still pretty hard to find TFA nectarine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not easy.
Hey, dude,
Someone-
Gremlin has it, and they now are shipping an HDPE as opposed to like the LDPE they were. So yeah,
Ooh, that's some good news.
I was psyched about that.
Yeah, because I have like a 1.5 year old TFA pistachio and LDPE, and it tastes nothing like TFA pistachio.
What does it
Thanks.
taste like? I don't want to leave it longer.
It tastes like plastic.
It tastes like the very bottle that it is stored in. Yes, I think I have some Cat Vanilla whipped cream that's been an LDP forever, and it's like almost black at this point. It just vaguely tastes like plastic. I should probably just get rid of it, honestly.
Yeah. You know when something goes bad. It's
Yeah, dude, my sugar cookie loses all flavor in like 6 months.
that must be your house or something, dude. Because
Maybe.
I have a sugar cookie from
But every time I get a new sugar cookie, it's so good.
But he has like
Right.
that complete lack of light thing going on. You'd think he'd be good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right? Is it cold in there?
Oh, it's freezing. It's actually 55 degrees, so I can store
It
bodies.
looks cold. Looks
I've
cold.
had
See,
this
I
one
do
for
that.
over a year and a half, and it smells perfectly fine.
Yeah, I don't understand what you're. But you've always said that about the sugar cookie.
Yeah,
So is it multiple bottles you've tried?
multiple bottles. Yeah, all from BCF.
That's where I got mine too.
Wow, interesting.
Anyway, we saved the worst for last.
Hey,
I'm just kidding.
jerk.
She's a jerk.
Emily, would you like to walk us through your recipe? Which is, by the way, blatant pandering.
Yep, I know. And I'm not ashamed. So mine is Nanornog. I did an eggnog with some butterscotch and banana in it. So for my eggnog base, I use Flavora cream, Flavora eggnog, and a little bit of Wonder Flavors vanilla cream extra. And then my main banana note, I use Vape Train's banana custard. That has recently become like my favorite banana cream to use and stuff. It's not candied, it's just creamy and a really good authentic banana. And I always like, whenever I put banana and stuff, especially towards like the winter or fall, I like butterscotch with my banana. So I stole the butterscotch combo from Cheapest Tea, but he did a banana butterscotch frozen custard mix a while back, probably a good couple years ago. But I took his combo of Flavora butterscotch with Flavor West butterscotch ripple and added it in. And yeah, it's a mix. It's pretty tasty.
Okay, so I really like that the Flavora butterscotch and the Flavor West butterscotch ripple are like two sides of the same coin, and they work perfectly together. Because the ripple is just like that thick background butterscotch, and then the Flavora butterscotch is like that really tight, potent like top note for butterscotch. And then the Vape Train banana custard, I get a little bit of a bakery note from it, but it just lends itself to making that banana taste more realistic. Flavora eggnog, everyone knows I fucking love that concentrate. It's absurdly good. It is like my favorite Flavora flavor. You literally can't go wrong putting it in any kind of bakery or cream. And then Flavora cream, I think, was a good choice. And then we have Wonder Flavors Vanilla Cream Extra, which for me, I thought it was a little too creamy. I wanted just a little more concentration on that top note, which either maybe taking out the Wonder Flavors Vanilla Cream Extra or adding sweetener, either of them would probably accomplish that. And I thought rum like would have been a crazy good add-on to this recipe. Like, yeah. But dear God, is it good as is?
Yeah, it's really good. I agree with Shin. I would have taken the Wonder Flavors out, but other than that, it's ridiculously good. Ridiculously good.
Yeah. Just to sound like a broken record, like for me, like I like everything in this recipe. I love that banana custard there, even though you do have a little bit of the dairy note. It seems just a little bit too creamy. It just feels like there's just a little bit too much cream. Like it's kind of blunting the impact of the banana custard of like the banana here. And so I don't know if the answer is more banana or less cream, but I kind of trend towards the maximalist side of things. So I'd love to see more banana in there.
Okay.
And then for like the like rum component, like it does seem like just like a little bit of extra booziness or something, just because you're already making an eggnog, like the rum wouldn't be out of place. Or I was almost thinking like something like butter rum by Flavor West or something, like nothing over the top boozy, but something just to kind of like add a little bit more dimension to that kind of butterscotch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It'll add a lot of authenticity to the eggnog concentrate as well. Like it may like even just 1% Flavor Art Jamaica special will make Flavora eggnog taste like eggnog.
Cool.
But as is, I could vape it all day, easily.
Yeah, I think it's a combination that I hadn't seen before, but it's a combination that works really well. Like that banana and like nutmeg from the eggnog and stuff. Like it's just slightly off the beaten path, but it's still like super tasty together.
Yeah, it's got that interest factor that kind of ties like a banana custard together and makes it interesting and new, which is awesome. Yeah, you're like anything you do with banana, I love it.
Yes, for real. You're the banana expert.
Along banana land.
Yes. I do tend to be a little different with bananas, huh?
So that Vape Train banana custard, though, I mean, if anybody hasn't picked that up, like that flavor is really, really grown on me, and I think this is a really good use of it.
Yeah, I think it's my favorite banana.
Oh, I know it is mine for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I still like TFA, good old TFA banana cream, but I think Vape Train banana custard's my favorite.
I've kind of recently warmed back up to Flavor West banana. I think
Flavor West banana's bomb. Yeah. It's like a very soft, nice, unobtrusive version of Loran's.
It's for a candy. You know, if you want a candy, Flavor West banana is good, but it's just too. I don't know. It's still kind of runty. Where lately, I guess for me, I've been doing banana. I want something more authentic. You know, real.
Yeah, but at least Flavor West banana, it doesn't taste like it's like runs submerged in grain alcohol. It just like it's much softer and unobtrusive.
True.
Have you tried Delosi's banana or Banana Foster's?
Yeah, you like them? Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
Those were pretty good bananas.
What percentage did you do the Foster at?
Somewhere between 1% and 3%, depending on the recipe.
Because I mixed it alone and I didn't get much of anything from it. It was kind of, but maybe I mixed it too high. I think I started at like 3 because there's not a whole lot of information about Delosi.
No,
I had to blend the two together because I added the regular banana with the banana Fosters, and it comes out more of a full banana flavor with the nice caramelly notes to it.
I don't think I have the banana by itself.
Sounds good. I really like TFA banana Foster, but it does have that. I want to try the Delosi one because TFA can get real weird real quick.
Yeah, it's a really
puke.
cool additive though for like a tobacco TFA banana Foster.
I've never been a fan of TFA's banana Fosters. It's got that puke note.
Yummy.
I actually like TFA banana Foster aside. Like, I think this recipe would actually work well with something like in that kind of wheelhouse too, because it would add a little bit more like caramelized flambe kind of depth to the banana there. They could all fit together pretty cohesively.
I almost used Saluba Rome banana flambe in this recipe, but I knew that none of you guys probably had it and that it would take forever for you to get anything I sent you. So that's why I went with the vape drain.
Yeah, I know a few
flavor
people
too.
that tout that as their favorite banana. I haven't tried it
It's
yet though.
really good. It's just a cooked.
Wait, Sabulum?
It's hard to find.
Mhm.
Yeah, DIY Vapor Supply has it, and chefs used to. I don't know if they still do or not, but it's good banana flavor.
We did have breaking flavor news from the chat. Doc Thor said that the Inawera Blackberry Raspberry was actually discontinued. So
Real fuck yourself. Are you kidding me? All right, Dave.
screw you, Poland!
Yeah, we're going. Let's go. We're mobilized. We're mobilizing.
God damn Inawera!
Goddamn mobilize. Those fucks.
I'm done with them. Oh my gosh.
That's terrible. That's like easily one of their top flavors.
Oh,
They
it's,
want to get invaded. They just want to get invaded. That's what it is.
Inawera Lime was one of my favorite flavors of all time. Now that's
I've
gone.
pretty much stopped using them.
And it's
I'm
not
done.
confirmed yet, but we're thinking Inawera creme brulee might be broken as well.
It's like the dude that you fall in love with and he just keeps leaving you. Like eventually you just have to like look.
No, you can't. Come
No
on.
more contact. We're done.
Right. Like it was bomb while it lasted, but
and there's Dave in the
I
chat.
was just gonna say, oh no, Dave's in the chat. He's gonna blow a gasket.
Oh, let's not go so far as advocating military action, Dave.
No, not military. This is like guerrilla warfare. We got to go in one at a time.
I believe the
This
word
is-
he used was blitzkrieg.
Yeah, don't say that around. That brings back bad memories. But fuck them.
Oh, see, that's the problem. Like, it's like one thing for this to be like a fun little like DIY thing, like, oh yeah, screw Inawera, but like it becomes like a serious issue when you're trying to actually build recipes that can be mixed by other people like 6 months, a year down the road. If you can't trust somebody to have like open communication about what's actually going on with their flavors.
right, because you make a bomb recipe and then they buy the stuff and they're like, this is terrible. Like what's wrong with your taste buds? And it's like, no, I swear it was good.
Make a bomb recipe.
Yeah, like a Trojan horse. I got you, Shindo. All right, I'm on it.
Yeah, I mean, if you sell recipes, like you're already not using Inawera because of that shit.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and that trickles down to like one shots and stuff too. This isn't just like, so yeah, like it's so frustrating. Like Wayne got screwed so hard on milk chocolate, and then everybody's like, oh, it's just gonna be the chocolates, that's fine, and then it's just literally the apocalypse for all the Inawera flavors that don't stock.
Yeah, I've been trying to mix as many like guava lime candies as I can for other people so they can try it. Because that thing is a recipe of the past.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate.
Bastard. Gotta get them.
Does any other flavoring company actually do that?
No, they usually do like a version 2, version 3, whatever.
Like V2s
one-on-one
and
does it all the time.
DXs and all that other crap, where they don't like you can't just not change the name if you change the flavor. I'm just saying.
Right, like one-on-one, they'll do it, but they'll also have like a 3rd, 4th, 5th version of it. Like
They have
even
like
even
24 vanilla ice creams. Like yeah.
Yeah, I mean the closest is like Flavor West
You're not
consistency
being,
issues. That's about it.
They don't want to
because
get
with
invaded.
Anywhere, you never know what's reformulated and what hasn't been.
Yeah, exactly. Or who has it? Ugh. Yeah, we got to get them.
Flavor West just gives you that fun guessing game after their first batch of flavor names were IP infringing, and so the names get changed 14 times.
Yeah, that's what they do. They keep the same recipe and change the name 122 times. Like, what's going on with their Starburst type flavor?
Seriously, it was like Starburst and then Starburst type, then Star Candy, and now they're probably just calling it Chewy Waxy Candy Fruit Fun Time or something.
Sunburst. Sunburst is another one. I have like 4 different. Sunburst for sure. I keep buying.
Is that your
I
metal
like
name?
Chinese made
Concrete?
flavors.
That's definitely my metal name. Chewy Sweet Candy Fun Time.
Could you imagine the shirt? Like it would have to be like a wraparound.
Yeah.
It's like baby metal.
Capri Sun flavor, short pants, sunlight.
Okay.
So that is why we hate Poland.
Yeah.
Screw you, Poland.
Fuck you, Poland. We're coming.
No, so I think are we ready to announce the winner for this go round?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Do we have enough anticipation? Should we just do this for like another 3 minutes?
Emily, you won. Good job.
Yay!
Yay!
Finally! Yes! Thanks.
Congratulations.
Your balloons and confetti are in the mail.
Yeah, you get it.
I had a sound bite all picked out and I can't get to it. It's just sorry.
Are you saying using your phone as a soundboard isn't quite working out for you, Graham?
No, I wanted to use a computer.
Someone cue
Because I
the
said
Curb
that.
Your Enthusiasm music.
Yeah, I got it. Don't worry.
But I think the reason that Emily took it for me, and I think we're all kind of on the same page about this. I think the reason that Emily took it for me was just because like there's nothing like this is a super relatable recipe, but it's a relatable recipe that is just a really fun combination I hadn't seen a lot of places, and I think it makes really, really smart flavor choices.
Yeah, it's like Here Come the Boys. You're like, oh, mint and banana, huh?
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I like to go a little crazy, but not like concrete crazy. Or, who are just too far out there.
Yeah, that guy's an idiot, right?
He's not.
Hey, at least I'm not slasher crazy.
Yeah,
See?
true. You got that going for you.
I'm somewhere on the spectrum, but not, off the deep end there. I haven't tried to make anybody vape. What was it? It was a bubblegum cigar, strawberry bubblegum cigar. That was the one.
I don't know, man. Rose and tobacco.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, rose and tobacco. This is just
We did something else with lavender too.
Yeah, saffron ice cream. Who knows?
lavender peanut butter ice
sounds
cream.
delicious.
Yeah, lavender peanut butter. What?
So what we're saying is the next person to submit a lavender peanut butter ice cream wins by default. So let's get on that.
Hey, apparently that one's a knockout, though.
I've heard it's pretty good, actually. Yeah, I haven't got the courage up to try it yet, but
I'm an absolute coward. I'm not mixing it. I'll take everybody else's word for it.
I've fucked with Slasha way too much over that recipe, and that's the hill I'm dying on at this point.
well, guys, thank you so much for coming on and helping us review these. It's always fun to get outside perspectives and what we thoughts on our mixes. Should we tell everybody what profile we're gonna be mixing up next week?
Absolutely not.
Okay, then it's a surprise. You have to wait. No, I'm just kidding. All right, I'll tell you. It was by what is his name?
Ryan W.
Wagon Schultz.
Yeah, Wagon Shits.
Schultz.
Ryan. He submitted it like a
I think
donut, and if you see it's like a cinnamon donut or something, maybe. But that's the picture, and we're gonna be making those mixes for next week, so that'll be fun.
8% flavor art Zeppolo. Let's get this popping.
I swear to God, if we get 4 cinnamon recipes, oh man, it's gonna be like that beginner blending mixing competition.
Oh no, seriously, who's gonna use cinnamon Danish swirl as a cinnamon? Because that flavor tastes like blood, like it's metallic like blood, and it just drives me up a wall.
Well, I'm not now.
It doesn't have to be cinnamon.
And Rin's just gonna fuck with us and say we're always complaining about the amount of flavor, so she's gonna put in something with 3% flavour rich cinnamon and tell us to choke on it.
I can totally see you doing that, actually.
You guys wanted flavor? Here you go.
It doesn't
Everyone's
have to
recipes
be
are just gonna be toothpicking it in, and then Rin's is just gonna be like squirting it.
What was that flavor you hated, Rick? What was it? Rose. I'll make some rose flavored.
Oh God, F.A. Rose, please no. I'm begging you.
No, I'll do you worse. I'll do the Inawera wild rose. That oof.
Is that somehow worse?
It's worse.
Yes.
Oh.
Way worse.
It used to be.
Yeah, right.
It could be fucking delicious now. Nobody even knows.
Like your grandma. It takes like your grandpa now.
Has anyone found an Inawera flavor that got changed for the better?
No.
No.
There's got to be one.
They
We just
screw
don't know
up
it yet.
Everything.
Yeah, no, I'm literally like looking forlornly at my disabused rack of Inawera because I've just given up at this point. Yeah, anything that's been changed has been bad.
Now, that purple gum I heard they made better. I don't know. Fuck off.
You're just trying to be constructive.
Better than horrible, so it's not completely horrible, just eh.
Yeah, someone try wild strawberry again.
Jesus.
Ew.
So yeah,
the phrase for that was a flower vomiting up a bar of rose soap.
Right.
It's just like that. So bad.
Accurate.
Well, I want to vape that.
we definitely have that to look forward to. Next time for Rin, it's going to be 3% Flavour rich cinnamon, some Inawera wild rose, and some Inawera organic. No, some Inawera wild strawberry with some TP organic strawberry on top to really sell it.
I'm fine with it as long as she vapes it.
I don't mind Rose. He's the one with the issue with the Rose. I'll just have somebody else vape it and claim that I can't vape it.
I think it might be like more of a flavor association thing for me, just because like by itself in a vacuum, it's fine. It's a rose flavor, but like that artificial rose flavor always just makes me think of the horrible shit that it has to be covering up. You know what I'm saying? Like you taste
like
that and it's sweet decay. I think Jarvis has talked about it before. It's seriously like that kind of like flowery sweet scent you smell when something's rotting or like covering up for actual human food. Like it's the worst thing.
Yeah,
Rotting strawberries.
It smells like Patrick Bateman's closet.
Well, it would if you added some extra Drakkar and Aurora on top of it.
Yeah.
Which there's Slash's new profile. Let's make this happen.
1992. That's his new profile. All right, fuck off. But seriously, linger longer and eat it.
What are you eating, Graham?
Circus peanuts.
Yep. So
I was betting on Cool Whip.
Graham lives entirely on circus peanuts and hashish.
that's funny. Yeah. That's pretty accurate.
Yeah, it's just
All right.
On that note,
On that note,
We've had enough awkward silences.
I think
that's what
we're
the show
good.
is. We need to rename it to Awkward Silence.
Awkward Silence, the musical. Let's do this.
Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. Thank you, guys, as well, for coming on and helping us judge our recipes. Everyone have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.